Hi everyone. So in this session, I will explain you how to create a Azure Data Factory pipeline and add the data flow activity. So basically, our task is, we will keep two files in the Azure blob storage container, and then we will create a ADF pipeline, and there we will add a data flow activity. And in the data flow activity, we will call these two Excel files or the data set that we'll be keeping in the Azure blob storage. We'll perform some transformations, like we'll be joining them, we'll be like selecting the required column, sorting the column, filtering the column, and then the final transform data will be loaded into the Azure SQL database. Okay. So this is the task. So first task is, first what we have to do is we have to create a Azure blob storage account and add two container. So I'll go to Azure portal. I'll create a storage account. I already have a couple of storage account, but yeah, I will create a new one. So create new. So this is free trial. I'll create a new resource. Demo. Fine. This I'll create demo storage. Some number, random number. We can give Asia Pacific Central India. This is fine. Advanced. I think everything looks okay here. 1 second. We need to go back basics. Yeah, here we need to select this local redundant storage. This is actually cost effective because since we are doing this for learning purpose, advanced this is fine. We don't need to change anything. Networking, enable public access. Yeah, that's all we can skip. We can directly go to review and create. So now the validation has passed. I'll quickly click on create. Let's wait for a few seconds and our storage account will be created. Okay, so now we can see our storage account has been completed. So your deployment is complete. I'll click on go to resource. So this is our storage account that we have created, demo storage 1, 2, 3, 2, 4. So I'll go to data storage container. So here we need to create a container and keep two files. I'll create one container. I'll not name it source. This is fine. Source. So here we'll be uploading some files. Okay. Okay, so to upload the files, I'll click on upload, and from this upload blob, I'll click on browse for files. So I'll upload two files, department and employee. Okay, I'll upload these two files and click on upload. So now we have uploaded two files in the Azure blob storage. So we have completed the first task, create the storage and upload two files. Will not create sync because we'll be putting the consolidated file or the joined files into the Azure SQL database. Now what we have to do is we have to create a Azure Data Factory instance and launch the Data Factory Studio. So for that, I will go to Data Factory. I'll create a Data Factory. Yeah, so free trial demo. I'll name it ADF demo, some random number. I'll keep it in the central India. Version 2. Git configuration, networking, public endpoint, fine. Review plus create. And then we can click on create. It will take few seconds and our Azure Data Factory instance will be created. So now we can see our Azure Data Factory instance has been created. So I'll click on go to resource. So this is how ADF instance looks like. I'll click on launch studio. So this is our Azure Data Factory homepage. So we have completed this part as well. Now the third task is we have to create a data flow and add the first source. Okay. So this is the landing page of the Azure Data Factory. So I'll expand these arrows. I'll go to author. So main thing, everything is done here. Okay. Now first we have to do create a data flow. So you might be thinking why we are not creating a pipeline. So first we will be creating a data flow. Then we will use that data flow activity in the pipeline. Okay. Now I'll click on new data flow. So when we click on Azure Data Factory data flow, this is how it looks like. So we can name it like df hyphen join hyphen table. We can give any name. This may not work in the okay fine. Df join table. Okay, this is the name of the data flow. I'll minimize this property section. So under the add source, right, I have to click on this, add down arrow and I click on add source. Okay. So when I click on add source, so this is how it looks like, I have to configure this source. Okay. So I will name it. So here I will be uploading my employee file. I'll click on employee, and then we have to mention the data set. I'll click on new. My file is in Azure Blob storage, so I'll click on Azure Blob storage, continue, and it is an Excel file, Excel, continue. So I'll call it, this is my employee data set. Then I have to create a link service. I hope you know what is link service. Link service is basically like a connection strings. So my data will be coming from Azure Blob storage. So I'll keep name it maybe Azure Blob storage. This is fine. So auto resolve integration runtime account key. From Azure subscription, I'll select my subscription and then I will select my storage account name. So this is the storage account we created. Demo storage 1, 2, 3 to 4. And then I will test the connection, test connection, whether everything is fine. Connection successful. I'll click on create. Okay, so this is done. Now we have to define the path where exactly that file is. I'll select from root and I'll click on source, and this is my employee data set, right? So here we have two files. Under source, we have uploaded two files. So I'll select the employee one. All right, so here we can select employee. This is fine. And here in the sheet, so now it will load the sheet. For example, in that Excel sheet, we may have multiple sheets, right? So there is only one sheet. So I will select employee. And this we need to check. First row as header. I'll click on OK. So now our data set has been configured, the source. Okay, so now you can see this, it's showing column 8, 8 total columns. So this sheet has 8 columns. Okay, rest everything I think we can skip. Source option, projection. So this data type we can correct. This employee ID is, integer. Employee name string, gender, salary again would be integer, bonus would be integer, and designation string, department ID, that's fine, string. And then we have something called as data preview. Okay, we can also data preview the data, but for that we have to check this option, data flow debug. This looks like this. We'll click on OK. It will take few seconds. Let's wait for that. So now our data flow debug has been configured. So we go to data preview, we can click on refresh, and then here we can see all the columns which this employee table has. It will take few seconds and then we can see all the columns. Just to quickly see what exactly we are going to process. Okay, so now we can see we have employee ID, employee name, gender, salary, bonus, so designations, and then we have this is department, yeah, date of joining, and then we have one more column which is department ID. Yeah, department ID. Okay, so now we have configured the first data set. So we will configure one more data set, which is my department data set. I'll click on add source. This I will call it department. I'll go to data set and the file is in Azure blob storage. Continue. Excel. This I will call it department. Link service we have already created Azure blob storage. From root. Under source we have two files, employee and department. So I'll select department this time. Okay. And then this will load. Let's wait for a few seconds and then it will show like how many sheets we have. So we have one sheet only, department. I'll select this first row as header and click on OK. So this data set is also configured, and then we can also preview the data. So this department sheet has two columns. Let's view that as well. Okay, so this is also configured. We can directly go to data preview and refresh. So this sheet has the department ID and department name. Department ID and department name. This is how it looks like. So basically, in the employee table, we have 8 columns and department table has 2 columns. Now we want to perform some data transformation activities. Let's say, let's first of all join these tables. Okay. So I'll perform a join activity. So this I can say join EMP and DEPT department. And then it will ask, let me just, okay. left stream is employee. So basically in the joins, I hope you know that we have to define the left table, right table. So left table is employee and right table I will say department. Now you can see that both the tables are joined to this joint activity. Employee and department connected to this join activity. And then it will ask for like, what kind of join you want to perform. I hope you have a understanding about join. So we'll be performing an inner join, which will be giving the matching rows. Okay, then we have to define on which column. So we have a department ID column, common column. So I'll say department ID is equal to department ID. Now if we go to data preview, so here we can see the results as well. Now in this data preview, both the tables have been joined, which means, we have 8 columns in the employee table, 2 in the department. So here you can see 10 columns, right? Employee ID, department. If you remember, we had a column still department ID in the employee table, and these two additional columns are coming from my department table. Okay, so this join activity is completed. Now, what is the next step? This we have done. Joins we have performed. Now let's say we want to perform a select activity. Let's say, so as you can see, like, we have two department ID column. We don't want that in our output, right? So what we will do, we will perform a select activity. So we will say selected columns, and then here in the columns, we have two department IDs, employee ID at the rate department ID, department at the rate department ID. So we don't want department at the rate department ID because both of these informations are same, right? So now if I go to data preview, you can see the output. Now you can see here it's showing 9 columns. So one department ID we have eliminated. If we go to data preview, yes, you can see department ID is no more there. Okay, so this activity is also completed. Then let's perform a sort activity. Now I want to sort this data. So we go to row modifier sort activity. So we will say sort columns, and then it will incoming string. So important thing to remember is, here we can define, right? If you remember, we had employee as a data department, then join EMP DEPT, but the latest stream is selected columns. So I will select selected columns. Okay, so this is fine. So here I will say, let's say let I want to sort based on the salary in the ascending order. Let's preview salary. I just minimize this one. Yeah. So in the data preview, you will see, like, our salary has been sorted in the ascending order. So this task also we have completed. So you can see we are performing multiple operations here, right? Sorting, and then we have a filter activity. So now based on this sorted column, let's perform a filter activity. So basically what we will do, we will filter the data, filtered data on salary. You can name anything, whatever you want. So incoming stream coming from sort column. So here you have to define open expression builder. So here you have to define, I'll say salary greater than equal to 4,000. So if you click on refresh, so here it will show you like what all salary it will consider. So as you can see, if I just show you, so we had defined 4,000 and above, right? Salary greater than 4,000. So this you can see as a tick mark, rest are as cross mark. Okay, so data, if we go to data preview and refresh, so here you will see that in the output we will get only those salaries which are greater than 4,000. See, all the data has been filtered. Now the last step that we will perform is sync activity. Which, what is sync? Sync is destination. As you can see, it is under sync. So under sync, we want to load that data into database. Okay. So for that, we have to create a database. So what I will go to Microsoft Azure SQL database. I'll create a new SQL database. So free trial, fine. Enter a server. Okay, we don't have a database name. So 1 second. Already have some details. Yeah. So database name, we will give some random name. Copy. So we have to create a server. Like server name, I will put this server name demo dbtf. This is the name, and then by default it will put .database.windows.net. We will keep it in Asia Pacific, Central India. This is fine. And then it will ask what is the authentication type. We will keep SQL Server authentication. So we will put some user ID. This would be the user ID, and this would be the password, and this would be the password. Yes, fine. Click OK. So now you can see we have defined the all the details. Okay, resource group demo DB. This is fine, and auto pause, which is fine. And then if we go to next networking, no access, public endpoint. We will keep it public endpoint. Allow Azure services and resources to access the server. Yes. And the rest of the settings, I think we can leave it for now. That's review plus create. Okay, so we will click on create. So this will create a database instance as well. Okay, so now our database instance has been created. I'll click on go to resource. This is the database name, demo DB 17092024. Okay, yeah, so I think I already have all the details. So now we will go to our Azure Data Factory, and so we'll define the sync. So here we will say Azure SQL database. So now it will ask incoming stream. This is fine. Dataset we have to configure. So this time we have to select Azure SQL database. Azure SQL database. Yeah. Continue. So this I will say Azure SQL DB, and then we have to get a link service as well. This is fine. Azure SQL database from Azure subscription. This is fine. So it will ask for a server name. Server name is uh, this is the server name. Copy. So we have to do this configuration. The database name is this one, and authentication SQL authentication type is SQL authentication. Here we have to give the username. Username would be this, and then we have to put a password. This is the password, and then paste. Okay, so we'll test the connection just to make sure that everything is fine. Connection successful. I'll click on create. So these things are configured. Then it will ask, okay, in where exactly you want to copy this data. So if we already have a table, so then we can select or we can create. Uh, so I will say create a new table, DBO, let's say test, something like that. If we have a new table, oh sorry, if we already have a table, then we can define this. If you don't have a table, then you can put a new table. I will say DBO, I will say test. This is fine. I'll click on OK. So 9 column will be copied to here. I think this is fine. So now what we will do is we will go to author section again and then create a pipeline. So this is the data flow activity we have created. So we will use the data flow activity in our pipeline. I'll go to data factory, new pipeline. So here I will use them under move and transform. There's a data flow. So once I put data flow, so here I will say copy data from blob to SQLDB. Yeah, this is fine. You can give any name, but yeah, this name should be meaningful so you can understand like what exactly it is. Description, whatever you want, you can put here. This timeout, this is 12 hours, which is not correct. I'll put 10 minutes. 10 minutes are more than enough. Retry, this is fine. Settings, data flow. This is the data flow we created. DF join table. I'll select this. Rest everything is okay. Yeah, I think we are good now. So what I will do is, I'll just click on validate. It will check whether everything is fine. Your pipeline has been validated. I'll click on debug, which will run the pipeline. Let's wait for some time and then our result will be shown. Then we will log into our database and validate. It is in progress. You can see Okay, so now we can see our pipeline run is successful. So the pipeline has worked properly. So we should be able to see this data in our database. For that, what I will do is I'll log into my SQL Server Management Studio, and so there, we will log into this database and check whether a table has been created with the name of test and the data is showing or not. So I already have these details here. I'll click on connect. It will ask me you're not signed into Microsoft Azure. I'll click on sign in. Yeah, we are good. I'll click on OK. Now we are logged into the database. So you can see I'm logged into DemoDB ADF database.windows.net database. We created this database. Okay. So now if I just refresh, then a table should be here. Under database, we have tables. Perfect. We have a table. Now let's view the results. I'll say select star from TPO test. Perfect. Now we can see we have employee ID, employee name, gender, salary. Salary, if you remember, we had put a filter condition like salary should be greater than 4,000. So only those records we are able to see. Bonus, designation, date of joining. We have one department ID and then a department name, which means our pipeline run is successful. Right? If we go to our ADF pipeline, you can also monitor that from here. If you go to monitor section, since we clicked on debug, so if you go there, you can see that pipeline is successful. So that's how we create the pipeline. It is super easy. Like, you don't need to write any coding for that. It's a simple process you need to follow through the pipelines. And that's how, like, you can add multiple activities, whatever activities you want to perform. Like, you can take, and this is like a real case scenario. Like, you can copy the file from the container, perform transformation, and load it to your SQL database. And from SQL database, you can take the data to Tableau, Power BI for your reporting requirement. I hope you liked the session. So please click on like button and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.